Guys and gals, so final video this weekend, and I kind of screwed up when I redid my channel. I went and showed pretty well every record I had in like literally 3 or 4 videos. I haven't updated, I haven't gotten anything new outside of the power trip from Saturday. So I'm going to do some other videos coming this week. But this one here, I've wanted to do this for a while. And you're going to see a lot of repeated bands in this. But this is my top 30 thrash records. Or not records, I should say. Top 30 thrash tracks. So, 4 T's. Okay. So I went through this pretty well over the last half hour, and a lot of guys are going to be like, well, how could you do that in a half an hour? Well, this is simple. This is ones that I've listened to the most. And I've ranked it from 30 up. There are some bands in here, yes, that are a few, are on here are a few times. There's not a whole lot of thrash outside of the big 4, the Teutonic 4, and a couple new bands that I really listen to the most. If there are any other thrash bands other than the ones that I've listed here, please let me know. I'm always looking for new thrash bands. Okay. Because, I like to buy records, so let me know and we'll go from there. So starting at number 30. I'm not going to talk about these too much. I'll give a small amount of chat for some of them because some of them may need it. Most of these you already know. So number 30, Metallica's Ride the Lightning. This is track 2, and as well as a self-title from the second record by Metallica. Of course, Ride the Lightning. And as I say, just because they're, if you see something that's like, wait, why is that way at the bottom? Because there's a lot of thrash bands and there's a lot of records. So I'm trying to do this as best as I can. 29, controversial one, Angel of Death. I think it's just one track that I think I've played so much that I'm like, okay, I think I'm kind of done with it, I think. But out of every record that I own or listen to or repeatedly pounded into my head, that's where Angel of Death sits. Number 28, Pantera's Fucking Hostile. A lot of people would not call this a thrash track. This is 100% a thrash track. It is one of the only few thrash tracks that Pantera ever really did. Number 27, Anthrax with Got the Time. Some people will say, well, that's not a thrash track. Well, it's sort of a mid-pace thrash track, and it is a cover. But when you see it live, you kind of have a different perspective of it. Sodom, Oscabumped. This is a punk tune, originally done in, I can't remember if it was done in German first and then they translated, or if they did it in English first and then translated it back to German. Regardless, it's a really cool, sort of punky kind of thrash tune. I think you guys will dig it. Check it out. Number 25, Canadians' very own Razor with Cross Me Fools. This is off of the Evil Invaders record. For those of you who don't know who Razor are, I actually feel really bad for you because you really should be listening to Razor. Probably one of the 2 best records are that one for sure, and Violent Restitution. I don't have any of the other ones. All I have currently is Evil Invaders, and I'm going to work on trying to get some more. I don't know if I'm going to go vinyl and CD, or I might just mix it up just because, Number 24, we got Megadeth's Holy Wars. This is another one that's been overdone to death. It sort of has the same kind of feel as Angel of Death. Big tracks, lower in the list, because there's others that I love more. Number 23, Destruction with Nailed to the Cross. Lyrically, it's just an absolute ripper. The whole song just da 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 da. It just comes in just. It's got that same sort of introduction and that power and intensity, sort of like a Hammer Smash Face by Cannibal Corpse. It just comes in, just kicks the ever living snot out of your brains, and that's exactly what you want when it comes to a thrash track. Number 22, Overkill's Elimination. Do I need to discuss this? Probably not. If you're into thrash at all, Overkill at all, you know that this is an amazing track. One of the best, and it sucks that Bobby Gustafson is no longer with them. I mean, he hasn't been with them for quite some time, and he's now with Violence, but that's okay. Number 21, Creator's Impossible Brutality. This is off the Enemy of God record that I was spinning earlier, and it's got that. It's probably one of my favorite performances by Venter on a record, on drums. He's just got his, his double kicks on this record as a whole are just phenomenal. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains. That's an easy one. We know that just comes out and it just destroys anybody and everybody within a 10-foot radius. Brilliant thrash for black and death thrash, I guess. it's they're kind of getting out of that whole period where they get into a rise and then move on and on from Brazil, of course. Now, Testament, Formation of Damnation. One of my favorite Testament tracks, and for those of you who are wondering, Practice What You Preach is nowhere near this. It would be in the top 50, though. Title track off of their comeback record with Alex Skolnick, from when Chuck Billy got over his illness, his throat cancer. They were just the band was firing on all cylinders at that point. They were doing an amazing fucking job. I honestly don't think you can get a better Testament track than that. You can, but that's a little later. So number 18, we have Evil, Infected Nations. This come out on their Infected Nations record. This is how do I put this? This is almost like a death thrash track in terms of like speed and it's just when it just comes out, it almost sounds like grind thrash. Like there's some notes that they're really hitting those fucking God, there's a term for it. I can't remember because my brain is splat. It's more of a freight train sort of thrash. Matt Drake on vocals is actually he's really shouting, and it's very intense, his delivery. Just go to YouTube and check out the damn song. It's really hard for me to explain, sort of describe that song, but it just really, really comes out and kicks the shit out of your senses. 17, Power Trip, from this beast of a record. I didn't take out any of the records to show just because, I might as we get towards the top, because I do know that there's a couple songs that are on some records that I do have. Let's see here. So yeah, off of this one, Nightmare Logic is Executioner's Tax, and in brackets, you can see right here, Swing of the Axe. Now, it's just one of those mid-pace tracks. It's Riley sort of has that shouty, that lower end sort of shouty, hardcore kind of vibe with his vocal, and it just kicks undeniable ass. If you have not heard Power Trip's Nightmare Logic, what the hell is wrong with you? Get on that, man. That stuff is killer. Number 16, Raining Blood. So, Raining Blood is just one of those tracks that, no matter what, at some point it's going to be on a thrash list. no matter what, I don't have to get into it. And frankly, what's the point? You already know about it. Number 15, we have Slayer again. Kind of controversial, but I'm going with Silent Scream. When you are listening to South of Heaven and you listen, obviously, the title track, and then you get towards the end where they're just kind of holding out notes, kind of doing the whole feedback thing, and then it goes wheel, 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 da-da, da-da, and it gets into that track. That's probably one of my all-time favorite ending to a Slayer song into a brutal thrash track. Lyrically, it's about basically abortions and how gory and graphic they can be. It's absolutely insane. Number 14, we have Creator's Phantom Antichrist. That was one of the first Creator records I actually went out and bought. It's a phenomenal record from top to bottom, and it starts off with Mars Mantra, which is sort of the intro. That became the intro after the one that they have right on Pleasure to Kill, and I can't remember what the track is or what it's called. But yeah, so you got Mars Mantra, and then it feeds into Phantom Antichrist. It's almost a perfect thrash record as far as I'm concerned. You need to get it into you. Anthrax is number 13 with Caught in a Mosh. One track that I've been listening to for a long time. I had the chance to see Anthrax with Volbeat and Crowbot in Montreal with the Misses back in 2015. Was it 15 or 16? Regardless, killer show. They come out and played that. I think they started off with Caught in a Mosh, and it just went from here, or from like here to way up here, and it didn't stop being fucking amazing. The whole, I think, 4 minutes of it. It was just excellent. Number 12, Metallica's Trapped Under Ice. Now, of course, people are like, well, wait a minute. If you don't like Metallica, why are they on here twice? It's simple. Trapped Under Ice is one of my favorite tracks by them. And it's on Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning is one of my favorite Metallica records. I own Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Garage Days. Or the 598 EP, the re-release. They're great records. I'm not buying any more. That's it. Trapped Under Ice is a killer track. I think it's the one song that they have never played live. One of a couple that they've never done live. And if you haven't heard it, I suggest you go turn it up. It's a great record. It's a great track. Number 11, we have Sodom with In War and Pieces. On this record, which is basically title track. This record is an absolute stunner from head to toe. I wore from the title track to Hellfire through Toxic Veins. Storm Raging Up is also killer on the first record. On the second one, we've got Soul Contraband, The Art of Killing Poetry, and Styptic Parasite, which I can never pronounce it as Styptic. I always said something else. But no, it's it's probably my favorite cover by them, to be absolutely honest with you. Just undeniably killer. Undeniably a killer record. Now, we move on. And of course, before I get to number 10, the top 10, it starts off with this nice little sort of cool, sort of mid-paced, chuggy sort of acoustic thing, and then it comes in with some nice lead pieces. It's absolutely phenomenal. Top 10. This is where it gets weird, because there's one band that's in here 3 times. 2 tracks off the same record. Now, this is where people are going to be like, how could this be your top 10? How is it possible? There's this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Well, unfortunately, these are the tracks that I absolutely love the most. And I'm going to pull out another record. Another vinyl. So, number 10, we have off of this beastly record here, Blood In, Blood Out, we have Body Harvest. Of course, yes, it's backwards. You don't really need to worry about that. This record here is pretty much tops for me. Considering when I first heard it, I hated it. Because as I mentioned before, I'm a Dukes guy. But I've become a bigger Steve fan over the last 6 or 7 months of really cranking that record a lot. And Body Harvest was written by Lee Altus. Go listen to it. I'm telling you, go fucking listen to it. Especially the drums. Tom was destroying it on this record. And as I said before, he is literally the most underrated thrash drummer in the history of thrash metal. Another one. Let's go to this gem, which I don't really talk about all that often. And that is Handle With Care. So at number... oh shit, no. Whoops. I skipped the track. So number 9 is actually Sodom's Agent Orange. I don't have a copy of that record, although I do need to get that record. It's one record that I really do need because it's also got Oscar Bummed on it too. Absolutely a phenomenal band, a phenomenal song. Agent Orange. That's sort of mid-pacing, and then it really kicks you right in the face with a really good solid typical thrash track, really. Okay, now, number 8. Back to Handle With Care. Sorry about that, fellas. Yes. So, Handle With Care, and I'm going to go with the first track, and that is New Song. Critical Mass is also good. Wake Up is also good. Emergency, Torture Tactics. The whole record's... This is like one of the most underrated thrash records of all time, I think, personally. I don't really see it a lot in the VC. So yeah, go buy that, will you, boys? So that being said, new song is just unbelievably killer. Now, we go to number 7. And that is the title track off of this record. Blood In, Blood Out. Starting off with Tom... Well, yeah, so it's title track, but it's second track on the record. It starts off with that whole Tom Hunting intro drum beat. Gary comes in with a riff, and they take off like a bat out of hell. And there's a part... And I believe... If memory serves me correct, yeah, second verse. So in the first verse, the very last line is tonight we're gonna fight like it's 1985. Now, second verse is stand tall, show you've got the backbone, welcome all who never took more than they gave. Punish all deceptions, no exceptions. Fortune always favors the brave. Bring your anger, bring your mayhem. Anything you do is allowed. You're the kings of pit insanity. Tonight we're gonna rage and make Paul Bailoff proud. Yeah. Paul Bailoff, as a lot of you guys know, is the original lead singer of said band. And he is very missed by a lot of the old guard. And frankly, he's not one of my favorite singers, but it's Paul. Paul was an animal. And that's why this is pretty much tops. This record is... It really reminds me of what Paul would have done on an Exodus record after Bought by Blood. Number 6, Sacrifice with In Defiance. I got to see them play this live in Moncton. Oh, baby. That whole show was phenomenal, right from the get-go. If you're not aware of Sacrifice, they're basically alongside of Razor, Exciter, and Annihilator for Canadian Big Four. Honestly, you gotta listen to Sacrifice, man. out of all the Canadian bands, they're pretty much my favorite next to Razor. In the thrash realm, that is. Let's make that clear. Now, we moving on to top 5. 5. And coming in at number 5, off of this gem, 3rd track, Firing Squad. Put it on, listen to it, and let it kick you right in the fucking skull. That's all I'm going to say. Epic Texas thrash with single kicks is probably the coolest thing I've heard in thrash in a long time. Number 4, Testament, Souls of Black. Go listen to it. I shouldn't have to explain it. That track alone is worth its weight in gold, especially with that intro bass line. Yeah. Number 3, Havoc with Phantom Force. When I heard this track halfway through April, I believe. I was on my voluntary layoff for work during the whole COVID thing when everything started to kick in and the stuff got shut down. That's a ripper right from the get-go. The whole record is pissed off from top to bottom, and really, you absolutely need to listen to this track. If you're not too deep into Havoc, you have to get that. It's an amazing record, and Phantom Force it's one of those records you can listen to over and over because you can hear all of the guitars, all of the bass, all the drums, and the vocals are just stupid pissed off. And it would come out last year, May 1st. You guys need to get it. It's just that simple. Number 2, Exodus, Strike of the Beast, off Bonded by Blood. It's on Let There Be Blood as well. And probably my all-time favorite version of that is with the live version at Vakken, with Rob Dukes on vocals. Just go type in Exodus Strike of the Beast and you'll see a picture of Dukes standing there, and he's got the mic and he's pointing. It's without a doubt my all-time favorite version of that track. And they sound super pissed off. They were tighter than shit during that live show, and it was killer. And last but not least, a band I've mentioned on here a couple times. And it is the title track to this record, my all-time favorite Slayer record, Hell Awaits. It opens it with, that sort of they're really just kind of grinding on those open notes. And then when you hear the devil, as it were, saying Signage, 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 and then it kicks in with Dave, and then it goes for a little bit, picks up, gets your head bobbing, and then it hits with a snare after a little bit, and then Jeff starts playing the main riff. And then you're just like, okay, we're going to get going here. Next thing you know, and then before you know it, the song's done. Like, literally the intro takes up almost half of the song. And then before you know it, once they kick into the chaos, it's over. I was super happy to get this on Record Store Day a few years ago. I love the color of the vinyl. It's kind of weird, but I dig it because it's kind of like this sort of yellowish, orangish sort of deal. I easily could have put this. I pretty much could have put like almost every one of these songs in this top. But of course, That would be kind of cheesy, and that would be kind of lame. But yeah, number 1, Hello 8's top 30 thrash tracks. I'm probably going to do a couple more of these videos. And I'm going to do it for different subgenres of metal, but I'm not going to go down the wormhole where it's like top 25 or top 20, you know, metalcore. I'm not going to get into power metal, which I hate power metal, to be honest. I'm going to stick to the ones I tend to like the most. So we've got the thrash. I'm probably going to go with doom. And that's going to, like, and it's not just going to be doom, it's going to be like doom, funeral doom, all that. So the whole doom, and then all of the branches kind of from there, I'm going to tap into those as well. And there's going to be some surprises in that. We're gonna do the top death metal tracks, which is going to include like your brutal, you know, sort of death thrash, etc., etc., etc. Death doom actually might be in that one, I think, but that's going to be kind of hard because, and maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of pick and choose and see, kind of splinter. New albums of new wave of British heavy metal. I'll probably do like a top 20 of that and kind of go from there. People like lists and people like discussing them. If it's not your bag, you don't have to watch it. It's all good. But if you do happen to be watch it, leave maybe your top 10 or your top 15, 20, whatever. Leave it. Or if you want to do your own video and kind of tag me in it and let me know, because I'd love to see what everybody's lists are. I mean, you know, we're going to be in this COVID hell thing for I don't know how long. I haven't even been able to jam with my new band. And frig, I had that thing formed like halfway through last year. So, you know, it's going to be one of these things where we're going to have to just figure it out and do our best. So, anyways, thank you so very much, guys, for watching. I appreciate this. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell, because you always want to see content from either your favorite YouTubers or just a YouTuber you like to watch. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.